Nintendo officially announced that a ground-up remake of Zelda Ocarina of Time is coming later this year, a journey widely regarded as the most iconic and beloved in the Zelda series. It isn't just a port or upscale, it's a full-on reimagining with new visuals and potential lore details. So let's break down everything revealed to get a better idea of what we can expect from Nintendo's remake of one of Zelda's greatest adventures. The trailer begins with a shot of a large tapestry woven from fabric. Here we can see a familiar face and location. First is Hyrule Castle, the very same rendition seen in the original Ocarina of Time. Next to the castle is the Great Deku Tree, the guardian of Kokiri Forest. While Hyrule Castle looks fairly familiar, the Great Deku Tree has undergone a significant redesign. Previously, he was little more than a giant trunk with a protruding face and leafy green branches extending from the top of his head. But now, his features are formed from large intertwining branches that stretch across his entire body, creating his eyes, nose, and hair, and even a long flowing beard that appears to be woven from roots. His design may be partially inspired by the Great Deku Tree from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, while still being far more detailed and distinct enough to suit this entirely new art style. Next, we get our first look at the Kokiri on the tapestry. Here they can be seen performing a range of activities, from wielding swords and tending to plants, to lifting rocks and interacting with their fairy companions. At first glance, they appear fairly similar to their designs from the original Ocarina of Time. However, something about them may be slightly different. Their skin appears almost bark-like, much like the Great Deku Tree. If this carries over into the game, the Kokiri may no longer resemble human or Hylian children, but perhaps a cross between their original design and a more humanoid form of a Deku scrub. Although, this could simply be an artistic choice made for the tapestry itself, rather than a reflection of their in-game appearance, especially considering Link believes himself to be a Kokiri up until later in his journey. But still, it is an interesting detail worth pointing out. The next shot gives us our first look at Link, the soon-to-be hero of time, as the camera pans from the tapestry to his in-game design. First of all, the visuals here look incredible. They have adopted a semi-stylized yet grounded art direction, sort of similar to Twilight Princess. This honestly feels like the perfect fit for this game. It avoids leaning too heavily into the fully cel-shaded art style of the Wild era, while still maintaining that expressive, animated Zelda feel. Now onto Link's design. His outfit here has undergone quite a significant change. Unlike the traditional green tunic that we are used to, he's wearing a garb made from some sort of cross-hatched foliage, layered beneath a vest that appears to be made of wood, or possibly leather, that bears familiar Kokiri inscriptions. It's clear that they have leaned into a more forest-inspired aesthetic, which reflects his upbringing in Kokiri Forest. Considering this design change, it's likely that the other classic tunics from Ocarina of Time, such as the Goron and Zora tunics, could also be reimagined with similarly distinct designs. An important detail to note here is that Link isn't wearing his iconic green cap, but we can see it hung up next to his bed, as well as wearing it in the tapestry. Interestingly, the cap itself has also undergone a redesign too, now sharing the same leaf-like texture as its tunic, with a darker leaf wrapped around the rim and a small ornament on the front. Seeing this new interpretation makes me really curious to see how his adult form will evolve later in the game. Will it transition into a more familiar green tunic once he grows up, or remain a larger, more refined version of this forest-inspired design? Next, the camera slowly zooms into Link's hand, before it begins to glow, emanating with the symbol of the legendary Triforce. This likely serves as the game's opening cutscene. At first glance, it feels very familiar, but in reality, this small detail could have some pretty big implications. In the original game, the Triforce does not manifest on Link's hand from the very start. Instead, the mark only appears much later, when he finally confronts Ganondorf within his castle in the future. For those unfamiliar with the lore, the Triforce is said to split into 3 pieces when one with an unbalanced heart attempts to claim it. In Ocarina of Time, this is exactly what happens. Ganondorf eventually enters the Sacred Realm and comes face to face with the Triforce, accidentally splitting it into 3 pieces due to his unbalanced heart, granting himself the Triforce of Power, Zelda the Triforce of Wisdom, and Link the Triforce of Courage. But if Ganondorf has yet to reach the Sacred Realm and attempt to claim the Triforce by the time shown in the teaser, then how does Link already bear the Triforce of Courage? Perhaps the remake is changing the mythology of the Triforce itself, with each chosen bearer already possessing their virtue and fragment from the very beginning, rather than it being bestowed later through Ganondorf's actions. Alternatively, it could be tied to the concept of time itself. Link, Zelda, and Ganondorf are all destined to hold their respective Triforce pieces, so it's entirely possible that these fragments exist within them across time, especially given the significance of time travel elements present in Ocarina of Time. Considering such a change, it becomes immediately clear that this may not be a simple one-to-one remake with a few quality of life improvements. Instead, it's likely a full reimagining of Ocarina of Time, featuring a larger world and far more ambitious narrative changes. This could even mean that we may finally get to experience the iconic timeline split in a more direct way, perhaps seeing the rebuilding of Hyrule in greater detail, as well as Link's life after he is returned to the past, and finally, his ultimate demise, leading to the creation of the Fallen Timeline. On top of that, the presence of narration in the teaser may also suggest that voice acting will be in the game. Of course, Link will likely remain silent, as that has always been a series tradition, but imagining how characters like Ganondorf, Zelda, Malon, and even the Happy Mask Salesman will sound is genuinely so cool and exciting to think about. This brings us to the end of the teaser trailer, where the title is finally revealed: The Legend of Zelda: Ocarina of Time. The logo is redesigned in the newer Zelda font, with the Hylian shield and Master Sword matching exactly how they have looked since Skyward Sword. The trailer then closes with the release window of 2026, later this year. I truly cannot contain my excitement for this game. It's been a while since we've had any major Zelda reveals aside from Age of Imprisonment, so seeing that Nintendo are willing to return to such an iconic era and remake it from the ground up is genuinely incredible. Just imagining what the new renditions of music may sound like, or how they could expand and reimagine certain areas is so exciting. There is so much to look forward to, and so much that hasn't been revealed yet. Could this game truly live up to our expectations? I guess we shall find out later this year. Thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, then leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more Zelda content like this in the future. Are you excited for the Ocarina of Time remake? What do you hope to see in the game? Let me know in the comments below. Anyway, that's all from me for today, so I will see you in the next video. Goodbye.